Hey guys, what's up? It's iFlynn here, and today we're going to be going through all 7 of the 7 principles. I'm not going to waste any time. First up, we have Pyre Drift right here. This is what the room looks like, and all you have to do is run over to these little orbs you're going to see just around the room. I believe there's 4 of them. Just walk up to them and wait for them to drain a little bit of your energy, and then go back into the middle of the room, and you're going to see the staircase open up. At the bottom of the staircase, you're going to go through a portal, and in this portal, you're going to see Pyre Drift, and that is really it. So I'm going to go through all the clips in this video completely unedited, so you guys can kind of get a feel for the room and just see like the world around, I guess you could say, and stuff like that there, because I mean, it just seemed like the easiest way to do it, I guess. So you know, there's going to be a little bit of time in between like my explanation and then of course me picking up the mod, because it's easier to explain than of course to actually do them, I guess you could say. So we're going to jump into the next clip now, and this is for Agility Drift. This is the organ room, and all you have to do here is shoot these little white panels, jump into the organs, crouch inside them, wait for it to shoot you up, and then bullet jump while you're in mid-air, stand on the top platform here, and then shoot the other white panels. So then all you have to do is rinse and repeat this process until you have all the white panels sort of shot. So it might take you a little time to sort of find all the white panels and jump into the organs and stuff. This is kind of like a finicky one, because you don't have to jump into the I guess you could say like the highest organ up. You can jump into any of the organs and then shoot the white panels apart from the last one. So here you can see me kind of looking for the 2 panels that are beside one another. You shoot both of them, jump into this next organ, jump up in the air, and then for this part I have to aim glide. I shoot that one, I jump into the next organ, and then crouch, do the same thing, aim gliding, and then we're looking for the next organ. There it is, or next panel, sorry. Get into the tallest one, jump up near the top, and then I just figured out that that isn't the tallest one, so I jump into the actual tallest one, and then I crouch, do the same thing. The hole opens up, and here we are at the top, and we're just going to go over and pick up Agility Drift now, and that is basically all there is to that room. That's probably one of the easier ones, I would say. Same with Pyre Drift, really easy. Next up, we have Endurance Drift. You're going to need to have more than yourself, and near the back of the room or front, depending on how you enter, you're going to have to shoot down that cylinder there. And what that's going to do is that's going to block a laser from shooting one of your teammates, which is going to stand on the middle of this sort of cylinder of death, I guess you could say, or you know, like a little area of death. And then what you have to do is you and your other teammates have to stand on top of those little, like, I guess you could say traps, which jump up whenever you go near them. And then you have to shoot the back of these panels, which is going to shoot lasers at the guy who's standing in the middle of this big circle here. So what I recommend here is bringing a frame like Valkyr or Ash or Chroma or something, just someone with a lot of health and armor, and then also making sure that the person who is standing on the middle has a crap ton of health pads. You can see here that the guy that's with us, Wally Gamer, he actually has a shit ton of health pads, and Wally actually comes in clutch a lot in this video because he was the guy who jumped in to the middle of all the lasers, and he's also a guy that helped me get one of the rooms to spawn. So another quick tip whenever it comes to making these rooms spawn is most of them, if not all of them, spawn in most missions on Lua, apart from things like defense missions, right, where it's like a locked in tile set. You'll get them in exterminate missions, sometimes in spam missions. I would recommend capture missions. Those are probably the best place to sort of go to sort of get all these rooms to spawn. I would say probably the one that is the hardest to get to spawn is Speed Drift, which is the one that you're going to see last in this video. Speed Drift, and then also the one which drops Cunning Drift, which is the one that has sort of like the Death Orb, which shoots the lasers out at you, but you can force that to spawn by replaying the second dream. All you have to do is go to your codex, and then just go to quests, and then hover over the second dream, press it, then the bottom right hand corner you have the option to replay the quest, and then that'll make that room sort of like force spawn. And you also have like a higher chance to sort of force spawn Speed Drift. From it, my experience anyway, I get Speed Drift to sort of spawn a lot while I'm playing the second dream. So if you're having trouble sort of spawning Speed Drift and you want to get all 7 of the mods, even though you're only required to get 3, then you can go ahead and replay the second dream and cross your fingers and hope that it shows up. And then once this is done, once the players stand on the middle of the circle for a long time, just go ahead, jump down into this room here, and then pick up the endurance drift mod, and then that's pretty much that. So next up we have coaction drift. This is one of the weirder ones. Really, all you have to do here, you have to have at least 2 players, I would say, because there's a way to sort of like trick it. You usually need to have 4 players, but there's, like I said, there's a way to sort of like trick this room. And all this room is there's going to be a bunch of panels, which you can see that I was just after looking at there. All you really have to do is stand on every single panel as they light up. There's no sort of like timer or anything to it. You just have to make sure that you've stood on all the panels, I guess. I think you maybe have to get 1 player to stand on the sort of floating cylinders that are in the middle of the room, and then go and stand on the 2 lit up panels like I just did there. But other than that, that's really all you have to do. You just have to go stand on all the lit up panels. There's like a specific order to it, but it doesn't matter if you sort of mess up, because there's no way really to mess up. So you can see just that the thing was lit up and I didn't look at it at all, but you see these little sort of things that are hanging down the bottom of the area that we needed to go to there. That's what we're trying to open up, and we just have to stand on all the lit up panels to sort of get that thing to sort of like open, and then lower those things that we're going to be bullet jumping up. And then I'm just using my ability here to sort of keep the enemies away, but that's all I'm really doing. Like, it's better off to bring 4 players here just to sort of get this done faster, because it is a little bit confusing. The stalker also spawned for us, but it wasn't that big of a deal. So just bring 4 players, stand on all the panels. So you see how the little things are kind of hanging at the bottom now because we've pressed more of them. Really, it's just like a battle of sort of running around and looking for the things that are lit up. You can also run around the bottom of this tile set and sort of see through the little holes that I was just after looking at there, like which ones are lit up, because the light is going to emit through it, right? So that's all you really have to do. So here's another one of the lights. We are almost done. We just have to find a few more. It's not that difficult, like really. This is probably one of the easier ones. You just have to make sure that you have a few players with you to sort of get it done faster. You can do it with at least 2 players, because you need the 2 players for the near the final bit. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to use your operator. Like, if you haven't completed the War of In, which you most likely haven't, if you're watching this video, I guess you could say, because you're watching this to kind of learn how to do these challenge rooms, you can hold down 5 to go into your operator. And this is the bit where you need the 4 players, by the way. You can hold down 5 to go into your operator, and then you can like make him hover over to one of the buttons and make him sit on one of the buttons over here instead of having to have 4 players, right? If you have completed the War of In, you can just go ahead and you can press 5 to basically just walk in your operator. It's kind of a spoiler, but it's also kind of not a spoiler, because it was going to happen anyway sometime. You can walk in your operator now. You don't really understand what this all means until you play the quest anyway, so it's not really that big of a spoiler. It's just a game mechanic that you're going to get introduced to anyway if you plan on playing Warframe. So there you go. That's coaction drift. That was, one of the easier ones. Again, next up, we're running into stealth drift. This one is also very easy. All you have to do is stand on that panel and then make sure that you don't get detected by any of the lasers in that room. So just follow the path that I'm going on right here. I go all the way around to the top, and then I run down the right hand side as you enter into the room, and then that's really it. So it's a really simple one. I didn't understand how to do this one until I actually recorded this, so that's because usually people had this done before I even bothered to get into the room, right? So yeah, that's pretty much that. Now, for some reason, I had that was going on for a little while longer there. But here we have Cunning Drift. This is one of the ones that you can sort of force to spawn. And all you have to do is make this orb shoot the little pillars. If you played the second dream, then you know how to do this. I feel a lot in this a little bit because I was like super tired whenever I was recording this. But if you happen to come across this whenever you're just casually playing like a crossfire mission or a capture mission, you'll notice that the death orb hasn't actually like shown up, right? So what you're going to have to do is, you see how there's little waterfalls around the room. You maybe can't see them because I'm moving about too much in the video. But there's little waterfalls in the room, which you can see in just the side of the screen there now. You're going to have to shoot those to sort of get them to work whenever you're just sort of casually playing. If you're playing this in the second dream, it's going to already be open. But if you're casually playing, you're going to have to shoot the waterfalls open, and then you're going to have to stand in the middle of the room. There's a waterfall on the left and right hand side, and all you have to do is shoot the little hatch, which is covering up the waterfalls. You'll see what I mean, because they'll be kind of like glowing just a tiny bit whenever you look at them, whenever you aim down sights at them. But other than that, that is pretty straightforward. You stand on these little pillars here, jump whenever the guy shoots at you. This is where I die, by the way, whenever I eventually do get it. So... and the feel is right there. So there you go. I got killed, and now I'm just going to run to the middle of the room. Like I said, you can force spawn this one to sort of open, and then that is pretty much that. But anyway, guys, we're coming near the end of the video, actually, because the last one is also pretty quickly. The last one being Speed Drift. The 3 I would recommend sort of getting your hands on. Well, the 2 I would recommend getting your hands on is Pyro Drift and... what's it called? Cutting Drift, Pyro Drift and Cutting Drift, because Pyro Drift is going to give you more power strength, and then Cutting Drift is going to give you more power range. Maybe the last one might be Endurance Drift, because that gives you more energy, but really the third one that you need to get, that's sort of definitely personal preference. So this last one here is Speed Drift. You have to activate this by shooting little white buttons in the middle of the room, and then you have to do these 2 speed courses. So there's one completed, and then the next one is coming up now. This one's filled with just doom orbs and stuff, which is going to knock you over. Really straightforward. So here we go. This is really it. And you have to shoot the white button at the end of each speed course, and then that's really it. And then you run to the middle, you jump up this pillar, and then you go in and you collect your mob. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead, hit that like button below. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, go ahead and hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.